This is your one and only 𝐈𝐸𝐻81 with your daily dose of video goodness, and today we're going to get into some more Elden Ring, specifically the Death's Poker and how to properly scale its Ash of War's damage. Let's get to it. So I put out a video the other day, I'll link it down below just in case you want to check it out, talking about how the Death's Poker really isn't that OP, it's just a really good weapon. Any weapon in this game which you upgrade and max out is going to have really good scaling, even if your stats are trash, and you're going to get really good damage from it. And in that video, I stated that it was just an all-around good weapon, there was nothing really broken about it, and I got a bunch of comments telling me that I had no idea what I was talking about, and that I was scaling it wrong, and that I was basically a noob and had no clue what I was doing. So I decided to do what any self-respecting YouTuber who constantly needs to be validated would do, and run testing and do a spreadsheet and get all sciencey with it to prove I'm right. So testing this thing is pretty easy to do. Basically, all I did was I set up a spreadsheet for an intelligence setup, a strength setup, and a dexterity setup. And in each of those setups, whatever I was testing was set to 80. So for example, when I was testing intelligence, it was set to 80, dex and strength were both set to 20. When I swapped over to test for strength, it was the same situation. Strength set to 80, dex 20, intelligence 20. And then obviously the same thing with dexterity, dex 80 and 20 and strength 20. Then I set up a spreadsheet to record the main attack, which just puts the little flame in the air, the next attack, which is where you hit it and it puts a flame across the ground, and then the third attack, which it does the explosion, and the item's attack power at that given state, because I wanted to know if the attack power actually did affect the Ash of War, because I felt like it did, but I'd never really done any testing to be 100% sure if attack power really influences the Ash of War or not. So then I went through and did multiple tests with each setup. So first off, I tested intelligence. I went through and I attacked the guys multiple times with the first attack, the second attack, and the third attack. And because the damage on this Ash of War varies from time to time, I just recorded the highest number I was able to achieve with each attack. While this isn't crazy scientific, it does ensure that each of the specs get the best possible numbers they're going to get. So first off, let's cover intelligence. So intelligence, the first attack where you just put the little flame in the air and don't click anything else. The max number I was able to get for damage was 1767. Next up, the flame attack for intelligence. The best number I was able to get for damage was 1254. Then followed by the explosion attack, which the best damage I was able to get was 2115. Now the attack power for intelligence is the lowest of all of the attack power setups, coming in at 509. Next up, I did the pure strength setup, and for the first attack, the max damage I got was 1484. On the flame attack, the max damage was 1190. On the explosion attack, the max damage was 1796. Our strength setup gave us the second highest attack power, coming in at 599. Last but not least, pure dex setup. So for the first little flame ball in the air attack, our max damage was 1484, the exact same thing it was for strength. I tested the flame attack, it got the exact same damage as the strength build, coming in at 1190. Last but not least, I did the explosion test, and it got the exact same amount as the strength build. It's 1796, so 1796 damage. Now the interesting thing here is that it scales the best for attack power with dexterity at 644 attack power. So if we put these in order, dex is going to give you the highest attack power, then strength, and then intelligence. But the interesting thing is when we use the Ash of War, intelligence gives us the highest damage output. So that tells us and confirms that this specific Ash of War, I don't know about others. I would have to test them all individually just to be 100% sure, because you never know when it comes to games and coding. But for this specific Ash of War, your attack power does not influence the damage that your Ash of War does whatsoever. What does influence the damage that it puts out is the item's rank, so how many times you've upgraded it. I have this one upgraded to level 9. Its max would be level 10 because it does use Somber Stones to upgrade. And intelligence also influences how much damage that this Ash of War puts out. If attack power did influence the damage, we would be getting the best damage output coming from pure dexterity, because dexterity gave us the highest attack power rating. Now, the other interesting thing about this is dex is the highest requirement that this thing has to equip. You need 15 strength, 17 dex, and 11 intelligence to equip this thing. And that follows right in order with our attack power rankings. So you need the most dex to equip it, and dex gave us the highest attack power, followed by strength, and then followed by intelligence. Now that makes me wonder if that pattern follows for every other item. That's something that I'm going to have to test in a different video, but it is an interesting thing to take a look at as far as attack power goes. So for the stats needed to equip this thing, dex is the highest, followed by strength, followed by intelligence. Our attack powers follow that exact same pattern. Highest attack power, dexterity, followed by strength, followed by intelligence. Now, that really doesn't have too much to do with this video specifically. It's just something that I noticed, a pattern that I noticed, and that I wanted to point it out. And it's something that I'm probably going to cover in a later video. It does, however, help bolster the fact that attack power does not influence the scaling of this specific Ash of War. And if you want to run these tests for yourself without ruining your save game, it's really easy to do. Just go get a bunch of the larval tears so that you can respec a bunch of times, back up your save, run the tests, and then just restore your save. That's what I did here today. Made it super easy for testing because I didn't have to worry about actually losing anything. I was able to respec multiple times, run the test without any issues. And just in case you were wondering the difference in damage, here's what the damage looks like on this item with an intelligence setup and not having the item leveled at all. So this is the item's damage at its base level. This just goes to show you how much upgrading your items really makes a difference in this game. One could argue that it is more important than actually leveling up your character. All right, and that is pretty much all I have for you today. If you found this video helpful and informational, consider hitting the subscribe button and the notification bell so you can be notified when I upload other content. I'm going to be covering Elden Ring for a while, so there's going to be lots of good guides, videos, and other stuff like this coming soon. I want to give an absolute massive shout out and thank you to my supporters on Patreon for making this episode possible. Y'all are absolutely amazing people. If you would like to join my elite crew of Patreon supporters, please check out the link in the description below. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a comment down below. Let me know what you thought. If you're shy, you don't like to comment, just hit that thumbs up button and share your support. Until next time, thanks for watching.